And hi, welcome everyone. My name is Kim Havens and I am the event manager here at An Unlikely Story. I am completely over the moon to be hosting this event tonight with real life best friends Shannon Hale and LeUyen Pham, along with their superstar friends Jen Wang, Jerry Craft, and Jean Luen Yang. We're all here to celebrate the release of the Friends box set featuring Shannon and LeUyen's best-selling graphic memoirs, Real Friends, Best Friends, and Friends Forever. So before we start, I have a couple of tech pointers. If you lose your connection or your video, exit out of your browser, jump right back in, or you can refresh your page. We will have a Q&A towards the end of the event, so enter your burning questions in the Ask a Question box right down at the bottom, and you can also upvote questions so the most popular ones float to the top. I know, it sounds a little middle school. Click on the green button in the center bottom of your screen to purchase books, and Shannon Hale has kindly signed book plates for everyone who purchases Friends Forever from us while supplies last. So the way this rockstar event is going to go, Shannon and LeUyen are going to talk about their graphic novel series and friendship with Jen, Jerry, and Jean, all sharing their stories and experiences in elementary school, Real Friends, 6th grade, Best Friends, and 8th grade, Friends Forever. And to top it all off, LeUyen will live draw each artist while they're on screen. This is going to be crazy. Shannon Hale and LeUyen Pham are best friends. Oops, all right, I'm going to mute. I'm muting. Who am I muting now? I'm muting Wynn. Okay, and I'm muting Jean because we don't know what's going on. Shannon and Wynn are best friends who have been publishing books for young readers for 2 decades. They've created 3 best-selling series together, the graphic novel Friends series, the early chapter books Princess in Black series with Dean Hale, and the picture book Itty Bitty Kitty Corn that is so cute, you have to have it. Shannon and LeUyen plan to keep making books together for many years to come and to stay friends forever. I'm going to try to go through this as fast as we can, but look at this is amazing. Shannon Hale is the New York Times bestselling author of over 30 books, including fantasy novels The Goose Girl and Book of 1,000 Days, science fiction novel Dangerous, Newbery Honor winner Princess Academy, and romantic comedy Austenland, now a major motion picture starring Carrie Russell. She lives in Utah with her husband and frequent collaborator, Dean Hale. There are 4 remarkable children and 2 ridiculous cats. LeUyen Pham worked in animation before turning to children's books. She wrote and illustrated the stunningly gorgeous Outside Inside, Big Sister, Little Sister, and The Bear Who Wasn't There, and is the illustrator of numerous other picture books, numbering over 100. LeUyen lives in Los Angeles, California with her husband. Jen Wang is a cartoonist, author, and illustrator also living in Los Angeles. She's the author of The Prince and the Dressmaker, Coco Be Good, and co-author of the New York Times bestselling graphic novel In Real Life with Cory Doctorow. She's also written for Adventure Time and Lumberjanes comic series. She is the co-founder and organizer of the annual festival Comics Art Los Angeles. Jerry Craft is the New York Times bestselling author and illustrator of the graphic novels New Kid and Class Act. New Kid is the only book in history to win the John Newbery Medal for the most outstanding contribution to children's literature in 2020, the Kirkus Prize for Young Readers Literature in 2019, and the Coretta Scott King Author Award for the most outstanding work by an African-American writer in 2020. Jerry was born in Harlem and grew up in the Washington Heights section of New York City. Jean Luen Yang began making comic books in the 5th grade and has since written and drawn a number of titles, including Hoop Dreams. His 2006 book, American Bored Chinese, was the first graphic novel to be nominated for a National Book Award and the first to win the American Library Association's Michael L. Prins Award. It also won an Eisner Award for Best Graphic Album New. His 2013 2-volume graphic novel Boxers and Saints was nominated for both the National Book Award and the LA Times Book Award. Jean currently writes the graphic novel continuation of the popular Nickelodeon cartoon Avatar, The Last Airbender, and DC Comics Superman. So he's Aang and Superman. In January 2016, Jean was appointed the National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. So now, without further ado, let us get this party started with Jen Wang and LeUyen Pham, and Shannon Hale.
Yay!
Welcome! Longest
Hi.
intro ever.
That was a lot.
It's a lot.
That intro was insane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, do we know these people? Are we part of these people? Are these people us? That's insane.
You are these people.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apparently. Jen, thank you so much for joining me and Win. We are thrilled to have you. And as I was telling you before we started, Jen's books are an automatic buy here in the Hale household, but we don't buy one. We buy several because we give them away so often. And I didn't hear Stargazing mentioned and in the intro. And so I just want to add Stargazing, fantastic middle grade graphic novel. If you haven't read that, that's just an auto buy. Don't even think twice about it. So I am so happy to have you with us, Jen.
Yeah, no, this is such an all-star lineup. I think just like listening to all the intros also, I'm like, wow, it's like this is yeah, like am I really here?
Yeah, and Jen and I didn't realize, because I'm just that old, I guess. We met a while ago, like before any of us were anybody, kind of, really.
Well, it was like yeah, we met in San Francisco back when we both lived in San Francisco, which is like a whole lifetime ago that like I don't even think of that like as like like a time to really that I attach any like kind of comic stuff to in a way, but yeah, but we met like a super long time ago. And Derek Kirkham was there. That's like
it was.
I didn't remember that either, but then when you mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Derek was there.
There was like a whole circle of San Francisco artists that like we sort of knew each other. We kind of, and like everyone's voted. Everyone's just gone off the map, like it's
I don't know any of these San Francisco artists, if any of you guys are not.
You know one of them, me.
Yeah.
I know you. Yeah. I'm out in Utah, So we are starting off in our journey through school with Real Friends. Takes place through mostly like 3rd through 5th grade. And so we want to start off with Jen talking about elementary school.
Yeah.
So we are going to reveal all of our secrets. How would you describe yourself, Jen, when you were in elementary school?
Elementary school, I think I was like maybe initially sort of out of place. Like I can't tell, but that's how I felt. I think because like I feel like I don't think of this now, but technically English is my second language. My parents are immigrants and we didn't really like learn English until I got to school, until I got to kindergarten or like I guess preschool also. But it was like I think there was like a little bit of that disconnect in the first like kind of early part of elementary school, where I was still kind of like just picking up like, oh, this is like home life and then there's school life, which is like very different. Yeah, it's like a thing that I can now look back and think, oh yeah, I think that's the reason. It's because there was like both like a language and cultural difference. Even though I don't like English is my dominant language now, and I live, like it's just like I don't think about that now. But yeah, but I think initially it was a little bit like awkward, and I did have like other friends, kind of who were also just like I grew up in the Bay Area, so I think there were a lot of other kids who were sort of in that similar situation who were also trying to like figure it out. And so, yeah, like I had other friends whose parents were also like Asian immigrants, yeah, just like kind of, it's like a thing that I ended up talking in my book Stargazing, which is like what it's like when you are kind of part of like a community that has its own kind of culture that's maybe separate from like the mainstream culture, and how you end up sort of like trying to define yourself that way. Like, am I more of like what does it mean to be like an Asian American kid? What does it mean to be, like I don't know, like yeah, like an American, right? And if I'm not quite what I think means being an Asian American kid means, is that it doesn't mean I'm less like Asian than other kids or what.
Sorry, I have a grass blower outside. I will be right back to talk.
Yeah, I think that defined a lot of my, I think, elementary school years. Just kind of like, I wasn't thinking about it that way at the time because I didn't know what any of that meant. But
Right.
yeah, I think it's like now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, I think that's why it was like a little bit confusing. And
I think that's one thing that's really, really challenging about being a kid is as an adult, we have the perspective and the words for it. And that's one reason why I love graphic novels is because when you're a kid, you don't have the words for why don't I feel right? Why don't I feel like I fit in? Why do I feel weird? And the answer to that question is completely varies on the kid and the family and the circumstance. But I think all kids have those feelings, but don't know how to put words to it. And what I love about graphic novels is there's images, like kids can look in here and go, that's how I was feeling. And that's how I'm feeling, and showing someone. And one thing I love about stargazing is that you get multiple experiences. Like it's not just one way to be an immigrant. There's like different families, different styles. We didn't used to have enough books like that where it's like, there's lots of different ways of being, and that's so validating to kids.
And Jen, what I kind of wanted to ask you too, like, do you use your drawing skills at all when you were a kid? Because I didn't have a problem speaking English, and Vietnamese was spoken at home. I understood going back and forth and transitioning between. But I know that I used drawings a lot to sort of ease my way into the world that I was in. Did you use drawing in that way at all too? Did you ever use it as a way to like make friends or to communicate anything? Or
yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know that I necessarily was like conscious of like using it in any way. I know that I was drawing a lot. Like I just always liked drawing. I think it was maybe a way that I sort of like it was my refuge, I guess. Like it was like a thing that I could do, that I could always do, and I didn't have to like do it with other people. It's like, oh, it's like a thing I can do by myself. And I think it was like a way that I could express myself without sort of needing permission or anything like that. So I think
but it seems like such a connector too, like because someone like I see with Wynn all the time, she's drawing and people just come up and look, like being a writer or being a storyteller is not as much of a connector because it's like no one could see inside your brain, that just seems like such a like kids at home draw draw all the time.
I think I did I was known like through elementary school as like, oh, like the person who draws and like can draw like, I don't know, like cartoon characters like were like popular at the time and stuff like that. But I think it was mostly a thing I had for myself. I was a little bit like I was a little bit of the kid who like kind of wanted to shield whatever they were drawing so that people didn't see, because it felt almost like a little private, even though it wasn't anything special or like that, like like it wasn't I wasn't drawing anything like that I would really have a problem with. It would just be like faces maybe, or but I was always obsessed with drawing faces. But I think there's just something about like writing in a diary feels private, even if like a stranger reading it would have absolutely no idea what you were talking about, and it just like doesn't even matter. But like to you it feels private, and I think I had that like connection to drawing where I just kind of like didn't want anyone to see what I was doing, and I always carried around like something like that I could draw with. I think like through back before they came back in style, I was a fanny pack wearer in elementary school, and I always had like just like little papers, and like that were just like in the fanny pack. I think I just drew lots of like like Ariel from The Little Mermaid or something. Yeah.
Wynn, were you private about your drawing, or were you just out there letting it hang out?
About the stuff that mattered to me, the stuff that was like too personal. I mean, I don't know how personal you can get when you're in 5th grade, but you know, like
yeah.
I had a crush on a movie star. Like I had a character from The Goonies, and I used to draw Sean Astin all the time. Like
she wrote fan fiction.
I did.
He had a girlfriend that was basically you.
I did. I rewrote the entire movie The Goonies, and I inserted myself in as like a 7th character, and she ends up with Mikey at the end. But
great.
I loved Mikey, and I would draw him all the time. So that stuff, like, I didn't show anybody, but I did things like just to make friends at school, because I was pretty shy and, you know, felt kind of dumb most of the time, and like no one found me interesting and blah, blah, blah. And I would just draw pictures for people just to become friends with them. And I feel like that's what a lot of artists seem to do. Like, it was the only way that we knew how to socialize, I guess, or that I knew how to socialize anyway, was just to get them to like me for totally simple reasons like that, because I had no personality to speak of, really.
Oh, not true. Art is such a great connector. I mean, you think like music is such a great connector, and shared stories and universes, whether it's like, you know, you find someone who likes the same video game as you, or, you know, those are all connectors. But you guys are creating art that you could show and share, and you could put people into your art. I mean, I just think that's fantastic.
No,
like if I could give my kids anything, any talent, it would be artist. It would, hands down.
Not sure about that, but I do have to say, like, Stargazing really is one of my favorite books from this year, and I'm repeating everything that Shannon said, but mostly, like, I read it, like, I connected with it, like, I knew what those girls felt like, I knew how it felt to be like those characters, and that, like, it just touched me in a really deep way. So it was a great book. And I don't know if you want to spend a little time, just because we don't have that much time left, talking about it, like, because I know that one of the characters isn't quite based on you, but is sort of based on your experiences. But I just found it looks like the movie. That particular character was so moving. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess for me to summarize the story, Stargazing is about two, like, Chinese American girls who are they're sort of neighbors. Like, one kind of like lives in the back house, and they're extremely different, but they sort of like become friends and come together to like do like a talent show kind of skit together, or like a dance, actually. And yeah, and it's sort of just about how like, you know, being from the same community, but also being just extremely different personalities, having extremely different backgrounds, it kind of creates some, you know, it creates some tensions. You know, there's just like the kinds of you know, situations that come up when you're a kid and you have a best friend, but maybe you get jealous of each other. You know, maybe you sort of have like things that you admire about them that also makes you feel bad about yourself, like things like that. I think I always just I've always found really interesting, and you know, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but one of them sort of develops a medical condition that I also had. Like, I got a brain tumor when I was about 6, which is younger than the age of the characters in the book. They're like in 5th grade or so in the book, but yeah, but it doesn't happen exactly the way it does in the book for the character Moon, but it's but I thought it was like a way to talk about like how we sort of like create stories for ourselves to explain why we might not, why we feel the way we do. Moon doesn't, you know, quite feel like she fits in, but that's okay, because she has these like visions that come to her, and it makes her feel like there's something special going on that's, you know, that's like not that's like the reason why she is the way she is, and it makes her feel comforted. And so you know, everyone else in her life is worried about her because of this like brain tumor, but she actually like finds it to be something that's like, you know, part of her. And it's yeah, it sounds very like serious and sad, but I promise there's like, you know, fun stuff in the book.
It's delightful.
Like, like K-pop and like dancing and stuff. So, but yeah, that's roughly kind of stargazing in a shell. Yeah,
That's so good. And for young adults, A Prince and the Dressmaker is amazing.
Yeah. But stargazing, it's one of those books that are really funny until it hits you right in the stomach.
yeah, until it isn't.
Just don't expect it. But
Yeah.
it's a great story. There you go.
Yay!
Wow.
While you were drawing, I'll mail it
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, that was so fast too. I like was watching you do it, and then it was like done.
Oh,
So
that is
Jen,
great.
will you stay nearby so you can come back on for the Q&A at the end?
Yes.
Yes, I'll bring you back on when it's time, Jen. So hold on just
The
a
voice
moment.
of the goddess.
Yes, from the ether. So we're bringing on Jerry Craft. Jean,
Wait a minute. You look great, Jerry.
He told me that he connected directly, but no, that's not the
well,
thing.
let me see. Let me see.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can find him.
Oh.
We're having technical difficulties, everyone. Jerry.
I'm ready to FaceTime him if it okay, hold on.
Okay, let's try it. But you're our good luck charm, Jean. So you just stay right there.
Okay. They're trying to connect you the proper way.
Yep. Hey, Jerry. I just sent you the invite. Did you see
they're
the
trying to invite you properly. So hopefully this will work.
Okay.
Computers are the worst.
Right?
Yeah. Well, this is
Um,
cuckoo.
I
Oh
can
my
hear
gosh,
you.
Shannon and our faces fell when Jean came on.
I didn't take it personally.
Do you know what?
I did a little bit, but that's
face
fine.
blindness. So it takes my brain a minute to go, that's Jerry? Wait a minute. Is that right?
No, I sent Jerry and there he goes. He just accepted it. So cross your fingers, everybody. Cross your fingers. Hopefully he'll pop up. Ooh.
The suspense is killing me.
Just put Jerry.
Hey, okay.
All right. I'm going to turn you off. You're coming up next, Jean.
Yay. Jerry, hello, my friend.
Hello.
Oh, I think you have another window open, Jerry.
Oh.
Or a tab, maybe?
Or maybe the phone call. Are you still on the phone call with Jean?
No.
Oh, yeah. Turn that off.
Let's mute Jean.
I'm not on the phone with him anymore.
Okay.
Is that better?
I
Are we
will
good?
post everyone what I have.
All right. I'm muting you, Jerry, until you check and see if you have either another tab open or the event page, because Crowdcast is in the middle of the event page too. So if you have that page open, then you'll be. Let's see. I unmuted you. All right. Are we? Nope.
No.
Yeah. You want to talk
should
to
just-
Jean?
I would just close everything out except this one Crowdcast tab. Just close everything else out.
Or maybe if you have
Please.
headphones you can plug in.
I think that's
Okay,
it.
can you hear me?
We're good.
Yes.
Yes, I have like 42 windows open.
Yep. That'll do it.
Oh, Jerry, so good to see you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Same here. Thank you.
You
It wasn't long ago when the world was open that I actually I saw you at the Brooklyn Book Fair and chased you down so that we could take a photograph.
There's
Yeah,
Will.
I
Remember that?
remember that too. I remember.
I was like, oh, I'm such a big fan. I'm such a big fan. And it's so funny to have been fans of so many of you for so long and now being up here on the panel. Like I went from the kids' table to actually sitting down and having a proper meal. I was at the big table going, wow, there's Jean Yang and Jen Wang and LeUyen Pham. So it's very cool.
And then you get to this table and you realize, oh, it's not that exciting.
It's amazing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, I have been so isolated for so long. I just miss seeing all of the writer and creator friends. But we are so happy that you agreed to join us, Jerry. I'm so honored because, as you know, I'm a huge fan of New Kid and Class Act. And then the second in the Friends series is Best Friends, which takes place of 6th grade. which is a very transitional age for some people. It's beginning of middle school. And so we want to hear from you, Jerry. What were you like in that, around that age, that transitional age, 11, 12, 13, whatever you want to tell us, drop the knowledge, share secrets.
Yeah. Not that the whole world doesn't already know, because you've already
No, I will tell something that I never told anyone. I'll start with the big stuff, but then I'll tell something I never admitted publicly. So I was a lot like Jordan Banks from New Kid. I was the smallest kid in my class. I was the youngest and the smallest, because I think I started a year before most people, and my birthday's in January, so it kind of really screwed me up forever, because I always thought that I was so little and I was so this, not realizing that I was a whole year younger than everyone. So developmentally, I wasn't on the same level. Like, I shouldn't have been as tall, and I didn't get my growth spurt until I was like 18, really, And then growing up, born in Harlem, grew up in Washington Heights. So I was light skinned with straight hair, and all my friends were a year older, dark skinned with cool curly afros. So I looked nothing like anybody. And then, like Jordan Banks, as if it wasn't tough enough fitting in, my parents sent me to a school in Riverdale, where now I was one of the few kids of color in a gigantic private school in Riverdale. So I really didn't look like anyone there. I didn't look like anyone at home. So I was like that fish out of two waters, just kind of going back each day of like, hey, where am I not going to fit in the most? And so
that is so hard. And I'm curious, when you started to write, when you started to create New Kid, did you consider keeping it the same year as you experienced those things in life, or was it an easy transition to go forward in time?
No, that was the good thing, because I self-published for like 100 years.
Yeah.
So I never had to work with editors. I was
He's
my
been
own
out
editor.
there for years, hitting the pavement.
Wait,
Such an inspiration.
Like, what were you publishing? Zines, stories? What?
No, book, but I self-published my first book in 1997. I think you were 3 years old, LeUyen. It was
Look at you. I see you with books in the background too. Oh, Mama Stories.
As American as Sweet Potato Pie. I always wanted to do like Black families that weren't like in gangs and shooting up and doing all this. I just wanted to do just regular characters, and could not get published. So I published about 25 books over like a 20-year span.
Wow.
Until in 2014, I got a chance to illustrate a book for Scholastic.
Wow.
And then, and then 2017, I sold New Kid to Harper.
So you weren't kidding when you a while for you to get to the big kids table.
And I think that's really interesting, because just prevented again and again and again from breaking into the mainstream publishing. And then the first book, Newbery Medal, all those gatekeepers that were saying no, they were wrong. They were wrong. And gatekeepers make mistakes. I just want to point that out for kids that get rejected a lot. Just people are rejecting you are not always right just because they've been around longer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun to see a lot of them at conventions now.
Yeah, and you're all grace and poise, but there's a little bit of neener. I know there is, because I got rejected a lot, so I bring out the neener.
But that comes from being younger and smaller, and just always having to prove, and being that little ant, that climbed up the rubber tree plant and all that. And also, so here's the thing I never told anyone. First grade through sixth grade in my elementary school, if we got in trouble, we got caught for talking, we got lower than I think it was a 75, we got beatings by the teachers.
Wow, really?
What are we talking? Ruler on the wrist, or?
Yeah, so we got the rulers. So first grade teacher, Miss Taylor, had one of those thick pencils that used to wrap you on the knuckles. Now, my third grade teacher, Miss Dawkins, had an 18-inch ruler that I think she wrapped the bottom in grip tape, and some pine tar,
How old are you, Jerry?
first grade through sixth grade.
That's insane.
Oh my gosh! And you just named names too. Which
I
Oh
know.
yeah.
That's
Mhm.
traceable.
Like each teacher had their specialty, and then some they were like, well, I don't want to beat kids, so I'll send them down to Miss Dawkins because Miss Dawkins would love to. She'd beat her kids. She'd beat the fifth grade kids. Just send them down.
She just outsourced the beatings.
You'd have to walk down the stairs, like, oh my goodness, I gotta go to Miss Dawkins' class, and she'd be in her class, and like, oh wait, excuse me, one moment, class. All right, come on over. Let me see what you did. Here's the note. All right, let's get the grip tape and get the chalk on her hands. And
did it happen to you? Like, did you get beaten by your teacher?
Twice in 6 years. I think I got a 73 on the math test because you had to get the 75. And
It wasn't
That's
for behavior, it was for a
insane.
grade?
hey, guess who was valedictorian of that school? I'm just saying.
Wow, that's crazy.
That
Yeah.
is so insane. I don't even know how to process that. I'm so
Wait a
glad that
second.
we've moved
Wait.
past that. It's not a good motivator.
No, but
Oh, it motivated the heck out of me. I'll tell you that.
hey, you're kind of like pretty proud of the fact that you only got 2 beatings in your valedictorian.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There were kids that took it all the time, So yeah, my first one, when I thought of it, I was going to have it back when I was in school. Of course, the title Black and Blue Kid wasn't, they didn't like that. But no, I was going to do more like a flashback to the dad talking to his kid. And then the editors at Harper were like, no, don't go back and forth. Don't tell dad's story. No one cares about your story. Let's see the contemporary story. So I took the basis of that, and then I mixed it with what my sons went through, because I did the same thing to them. Sent them to a private school in Connecticut, so they were, So yeah, so that was it.
Wow.
That was a hard call for me when I was thinking about doing this, about whether to take the basis of reality and then make it fictional, or whether just to be autobiographical. And
Diane knows. Diane went to parochial school. She got beat too.
Wow.
Diane knows all about it.
Diane
But
called me. We'll talk.
But you weren't in school in the 60s, were you, Jerry?
No.
You're
I
not
was.
that old.
I am. I was in school in the early 70s. So,
Okay.
But yeah, so it was probably like they might have outlawed it, like Juneteenth, but they just didn't tell my teachers, or my teachers didn't tell us until a few years later.
They conveniently didn't hear about it for a few years.
They wanted to get those last beatings in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Ah,
So have
jeez.
you revisited the school? Have they revisited that policy? Like, does the school still do as well without beatings? I guess. I mean,
That would be
No,
interesting research
Yeah.
study.
both my elementary and junior high. My junior high, I only went to 7th and 8th grade. We had to wear uniforms, and they don't exist anymore. The hospital where I was born and both of my early schools, it's like they're trying to wipe out my memory.
wow.
But my high school is still there, Fieldston and Riverdale, and I based a lot of new kid on that.
Wow, that's bonkers. I
Yep.
think the thing that ever happened to me growing up was like in 4th grade, a teacher just couldn't handle a student, and so he shoved him under his desk. Yeah, and that was all he did. Like, he just kept him under the desk, and the student just banged on the wall.
I feel like in the 80s we were under desks a lot because there was like all those nuclear war
Oh,
drills.
yeah.
Oh,
And like if we were getting hit by a nuclear
that was gonna
warhead, like being under the desk was really going to be effective.
Especially if it was old. Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's
Yeah. So, kids today, they got it easy, I tell you.
Duck and cover. That's right. Tim
Oh, yep.
Smith. Duck and cover.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
But
All right.
oh, wait a minute. Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
Okay. with a knot on my head from Miss Dawkins, you got?
No, I'm not gonna draw a lump on your head. I'm not gonna do that. It's actually a very cute version of you. You look like a little kid.
Wow. But congratulations, the 3-book set is amazing. That's a nice addition to my catalog here.
I like the back of your chair.
Knock down stuff. So yeah, this is
Yay.
Thank you.
And I already had my other ones that I got signed by you both. So this is awesome. I'm excited.
Well, thank you. And everybody knows, we don't need to say Read New Kid and Class Act. Everybody knows about them. But just in case you somehow missed it, all those books are so
great.
good. We love them. We reread them in the Hale House. We gift them constantly. Thank you, Jerry. Will you stay
and I
on?
got your little shout out in Class Act to Real Friends.
Yes, you did. He made a shout out for Real Friends in Class Act. And one of the chapter openers is
well, thanks,
Real Friends.
LeUyen.
Yes.
See that? I'm like, oh, you just told on yourself.
Dude, I've been busy, man.
That's right. And that was really special for me. Actually, you had emailed me to see, like, it was okay. And I was like, of course. And then I was reading Class Act and I had forgotten about it. And I turned the page and there it was. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I'm glad it was special for one of you.
Hey, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, let me find it real quick and then I'll let it. Yeah. So yeah, I did all graphic novel throwbacks, just to honor my friends,
Yes.
And
Well,
so
it's such a lovely community too.
Hey,
It's also
wait.
supportive. See, there it is. See, look, Teal
Yep.
Friends.
still friends.
Oh my god. Okay. I
Oh, that
recommended
is
you
awesome.
on NPR. I recommended you on NPR. So
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
So there you
Yep.
go.
Okay. All right, so we're still friends.
Okay.
We're
So
Teal
Jerry, you
Friends.
stick around.
Yes, I
I'm gonna
will.
turn your camera off, but just
I don't know
just
how to
hang
do
out
that.
right there. Don't go anywhere.
I won't.
Now that we got you. All
Okay.
right, and now
Let's bring
we
on
have Jen
Jean.
and Yang.
Yay!
Hi, Jean.
And now that's Jean.
Hey, you didn't look as disappointed this time.
No,
So I'm
I was
happy about that.
confused. I'm never disappointed to see Jean Yang. Do you remember when you won the MacArthur Genius Grant and we were at the National Book Festival at the big fancy soiree in the Library of Congress and I made a sign that said genius and I taped it to his back.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Oh, that was
Like getting
fun.
trolled by a big sister, even though I'm older than you. I want to.
Well,
say.
I think there's worse things than genius. You're not older than me, are you?
I'm way older than
When were you born?
Jen.
Not? You're
73.
You're 70. Oh, you're
Yeah,
born in 70.
No, I was born in 1973. But no, we figured this out. I'm like several months older than you.
Wait, what? She was born in 73.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
August 73. You're
I'm August 73 too.
no.
And Shannon, you're like what?
I'm the baby because I was
August 10th.
January of 74. So.
See, that's what I mean. I'm several months older.
Wait a
than
minute,
Shannon.
but you might not be older than Win.
No, I'm 9th. August 9th.
Okay, you're a day older than me, my friend.
Oh, you're August 10th? Yeah, I'm still older though. A day counts.
You're
But you know
a
what?
day
There's some question about Win's birthday. So
Well,
Oh.
I mean,
okay.
legally I'm September, but my mom swears to God that I'm August 10th. So I was born
Okay.
during a war. Forgive, the paperwork during the Vietnam War. It's not like
yeah.
I was the biggest priority at that time. So. But I've known Jean for how long have we known each other now, Jean? I don't
We
know.
met, I don't know, we must have been in our 20s, you think? Was it? We must have been in our 20s.
Our
Like
late 20s.
late 20s, yeah.
And
Yeah,
this was-
it was actually first second that the publisher
Yes.
of the Real Friends trilogy was just getting started. It wasn't even a
Yeah.
thing yet.
Yeah.
And they had this fancy dinner in San Francisco. And
Yeah.
I tagged along with my good friend, Derek Kirk Kim, who did a bunch of different books with First Second. I think Scene Difference is probably his most prominent.
At that dinner, Mark Siegel was there. Mark is out of First Second, and he had a copy, like an early version, like your early version copy of American Born Chinese. And he just kept saying, this is going to be phenomenal. This is going to be amazing. And Jane was there. I remember you were like in a t-shirt. I don't remember if you wore like a baseball. You look like you were 12 years old. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. That dude's like way too young to know what he's doing. But we were flipping through it at the dinner. We're just like, oh my god, who is this guy? It was so cool. It was such like a.
All I remember from that dinner was everybody pulled out their sketchbooks, right? Including Mark, who's the editor. And I remember Wynn pulled out her sketchbook, and then her husband Alex, who's an animator and a graphic novelist, pulled it out, and then Derek pulled his out. And then I was like, okay, at least the editor, is going to be able to draw. But he's an artist, and he pulled his out, and I just felt so inadequate. You're an artist?
Whatever. forever.
No, not the same level as everybody else.
I remember, Jean, like before the first book came, before Real Friends, the first book came out, I saw you somewhere, and you had read it. You had read an early copy,
Yeah.
like I don't know, an arc or something, and there was just a look in your eye, like you were looking at me a little weird. And I'd known you for years before then, but it was like, I now know too much about you, and I don't know how to process that. I feel like I've been hanging out with you when you were 10 for a while, and now here you are again. And I need to kind of merge those two things.
Yeah, we hung out. Was that at Hamlin? I feel like that was the first time we really hung out, was when you came and guest spoke at.
Do you know what? I think this was
MFA.
actually in Provo, Utah. I think you came down for a thing.
Provo. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hamlin
Congratulations, by the way, on your box set. I remember first. I mean, I think the reason why I was staring at you for after I read Real Friends was because I did not realize that friendships could get that complicated. Like, I was kind of shocked.
Yeah. And you told me, because you've got girls at home, and you told me, I understand a little bit more now than I did before about what my kids are going through, and that for me, like, that's like the best thing to hear from a parent who reads these books, is like, oh, it's given me insight into these complicated dynamics.
Yeah, that's right. And those girls, those 3 girls at my house, are the reason why I haven't read the book yet that I'm supposed to have read.
Good for them.
My section of the interview, right? The third one is the one I haven't read. It's just, it got sent to my house, and they immediately stole it, and I have not seen it since.
Well, you don't need to. We're not going to quiz you on what happens in it, so you're off the hook there. But we are going to talk a little bit about. So here is me in 7th and 8th grade. That was my school photo, and that's the retake, which I think we can all agree is much better. It's significantly different. So it's a good thing my mom paid for retakes. What were you like in 8th grade or the middle school?
Super athletic, really popular. No. I remember at 8th grade was, I think I decided, like, all of my friends during lunch would go and play basketball. And I was just like, this is just not working for me. So I stopped. And I just started hanging out with another group of kids that would just walk around the campus, you know? But I remember, I just feel like, I feel like I had some of that friendship complexity that you all talk about in the trilogy. I'm assuming it continues in the 3rd book that I haven't read yet because of my daughters, right? But I feel like I had a little bit of but it just wasn't the same level. You know what I mean? One of the things that I remember about 8th grade was there's like this weird rotation in my friend group where, like, we would like one person would get made fun of a lot, like be the butt of every joke for like a couple of weeks or maybe even a month, and then it would switch to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I remember that happening. And when it got to me, it was like, it just felt really weird. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't understand what was happening. Yeah. But it's like this weird, like, dominance thing, right? That kids are trying to work out.
Is it one of those things where, like, you're temporarily ousted from the group? And
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not, well, I think at least with my friends, I wasn't out. Like, they keep you in so that they can make fun of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had something in the 9th grade year. Same thing. I had a group of really close, and they were all Asian too. Like, group of friends. Something happened at the end of 8th grade year. One person decided I wasn't in the group anymore, and then my whole freshman year, I started without friends. But what was weird was that I was still friends with all of them, like in classes, but I couldn't eat lunch with them. It was like some unspoken rule that I couldn't eat lunch with them. And it took me a while, like that whole crappy freshman year where my life was just horrible. And then I think I like sort of found myself a little bit during that time, so that when I actually got welcomed back in the group, I didn't really stick with the group. I did like what Shannon did, and I just hung around with a lot of different people because it was a little bit easier to do. But
those experiences really affected me, and we're ending with this one. We're not doing any more books in the series, but if I went on to tell high school, it would be never choose a group. Like, I was so afraid of being with one group that I just made friends with everybody. I would have lunch with different people every day. I would sit in different seats every day in class because I was so scared. That was the root of it. I was so scared of being stuck in one group again because I knew if you're suddenly out, then you're completely alone.
Yeah.
Wait, but I gotta ask, starting like in 7th and 8th grade year, did you have like a single guy friend who was like a best buddy or like a girlfriend who was a best buddy? Did you have a crush on a girl that messed up the dynamic of the group at all?
Yeah, I had a crew of guy friends, right? I don't know if I was best friends with any one of them, but
They're
I
all
definitely
claiming to be your
had
best
crushes
friend now,
on
though.
girls.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I was Gene's best friend.
No. I don't think so, because they knew me. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna claim that. They knew what I was like. So I definitely had crushes though. I had a crush on a girl named Amanda for a really long time.
Ooh, I love when we name names.
A girl named Anita as well. That was just a coincidence that they both
had an
had
A thing going.
Yeah. And then I remember in the movies I had a crush on Tamlin Tomita in Karate Kid 2. Like so my parents did the Asian thing where they would make you go to summer school to take the classes that you were going to take the very next year.
Yeah.
Did you know that was that's a secret to like Bay Area Asian parenting?
Being advanced, yeah.
Yeah. And during Sunday, it was at a local junior college, and they had this thing where you could go and you could check out like VHS tapes during lunch and watch them. So I did that with Karate Kid 2. Like every chance I got, I would go and watch it. And the thing is, like I feel like there's some sort of like weird like wishing magic that happened, because my wife, when she was young, people would come up to her and go, "Are you Tamlin Tomita?" I never made that connection until after.
Seriously?
And what letter does her name start with?
Right now.
Yeah, she's Teresa. So she ends with an A.
Right.
But yeah.
Ends with an A. That's all right. So it's Alpha and Omega.
Yeah.
Definitely pass for her, for sure. Yeah, I would say that. You scored.
Well, we should bring everybody back and do some Q&A.
Wait.
Oh,
that's awesome. I feel like you should have made the shoulders a little broader though.
I did. Well, I thought I did from what you've got, but okay.
You literally cannot go wrong with the Gene Yang book. Everything he's done is fantastic. Dragon Hoops is the most recent. I'm a big fan of Shadow Hero, Secret Coders. Oh my gosh, Boxers and Saints. Yeah, just cannot. Everything he does, I can't recommend enough. All right. Oh, we're back. Look at this great group. Yay! How do we want to do questions? Do we?
Can I start with a question for Jen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jen, you mentioned that when fanny packs came back in style, when exactly was that? When they came back in style? Because
I missed that in the past few years, maybe. I have one now. Like
It's my only purse, Jerry. It's my only purse now. Especially during the pandemic, I didn't want to have something I had to be putting down, so I got my purse that I could strap to my body. And do you know how good I look in it? Not at all. But I don't care. It's so great being 47.
Yeah, you guys are on your own with the fanny pack thing. That's not one.
I mean, now it's like you wear it like across, strapped across your back, so it's like cool.
And I couldn't be bothered.
It's like cool.
There's no way that moving my fanny pack from here to here is going to make me look cool. That change is not going to be significant.
Now all of a sudden I'm understanding the angst from all your graphic novels now. That's where it comes from.
I brought it on myself. All right, should we do questions?
Okay.
How do we do this?
Sure, I can be the voice from beyond if that works.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yes. Okay. So I think this is for everyone. It's from Noelle. Can you tell us which new books about your new books that you're working on?
Oh, can we?
I know. Whit's got secrets with more than one person here.
Well, we're dishing. We're dropping names.
All right. We know. Where did your window?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
there she is.
I'm here. Sorry, my battery is dying. Let me plug me in. Sorry, hold on.
So Wynn and I are always doing stuff. We do the Itty Bitty Kitty Corn picture books. The second one comes out in, I think, March.
Yeah.
We do more Princess in Black. She's working on the 10th Princess in Black right now. The 9th one comes out in January or February. Or March.
Yeah.
And then we always have secret stuff going on.
We've got some secret stuff going on, which we're not allowed to say yet. So. Mm-hmm. Something else going on.
With one other person in this place, and we won't say who.
Yeah.
Who could it be?
I don't know. I might be working working with someone who you all know and love, and even if you don't know and love them, you're still going to buy the book because I'll kill you otherwise.
Or Mrs. What's her name from Jerry's school will come.
Right, Miss Dawkins will come after you.
Miss Dawkins.
But you know, it's something that I just realized. It's the first time I've been contracted to do more graphic novels than picture books. The first time in my career
How do you
ever.
feel about that?
I didn't notice it until someone pointed it out, and I'm like, oh my God, that's right.
Graphic novels are so big. I just had another one come out with my husband, Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld, with DC Comics. What are you guys doing?
I'm working on the third New Kid.
Yay!
Yay!
Is it going to be a trilogy, or are you going to keep going, Jerry?
I think this is it. I think they're worried about series fatigue. You know, I'm not late when they can do a 10-part series. You know.
Yeah, we see how poor Jeff Kinney has suffered.
Yeah, I know, and Dogman.
Don't go down that road.
Well, I kind of painted myself in the corner that each book is a different year, right. And so they don't want them to grow. Like, they don't want Jordan to be like Harry Potter, where by the end he's like 42 with like facial hair and stuff. So I think I'm going to do this last one, and then just do something completely different, and then see. You know, maybe I'll come back to it or something. It's hard not to do those characters.
You're not going to do the parochial school experience, because that was pretty, I don't know.
With the beatings?
Yeah. I mean, not with just the beatings. I'm sure there's.
I'm hard enough getting banned already, so without having kids getting beaten, I'll have to think about that.
So we have a question from Jeff Kinney. He'd like to know, what is series fatigue?
Oh, yeah.
I went to Costco yesterday. He's got a kiosk. You know,
yeah.
They just bring it in by the pallet and just put it right in the middle of Costco, and everyone has to walk around. Yeah.
And I mean, thank God for Jeff Kinney. I mean, could there be a nicer guy?
Amen.
Like,
yeah, they're probably
to have success and creating the marketplace for all of us to exist.
So he's amazing.
She's working hard to get into that extra house of yours, apparently, Jeff Kinney. So, you know.
I'm saying, if you've got room. I've been in my house for 2 years with my children.
Jen, what are you working on? Jen, what are you doing?
I'm working on a YA book. So it's you know, like my books kind of go back and forth between like YA, middle grade. Stargazing is actually my first middle grade, but yeah, I'm doing another YA book, and it's not going to be connected to any of the other books I've done. So it's like another standalone story, and yeah, I guess we'll just have to find out later.
Yay!
Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be very different from the other books, so that's all I can say.
All right, we don't even know the name yet, but I've already pre-ordered it. So
I don't know the name yet. Yeah.
And Jean, I know you've got a lot going on, but what can you actually tell us about what you're doing?
So we are. So I'm writing Shang-Chi for Marvel Comics. I'm writing the monthly series about the kung fu superhero that was in the blockbuster movie. Yeah, we saw a big jump in sales, largely because of my writing. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's what it was.
Got it.
Like in September. No, it's been fun. It's been fun to work on. And then I'm just gonna say it. I elbowed my way onto Wynn's schedule. And
It's Jean? Jean is the mystery person?
I don't know if we can say anything else, right?
Nobody's watching Jean.
We were fooling you guys all along. It's just we just wanted to get a chance to Zoom with you for fun. There's nobody
we don't
here.
have to talk about what it is, but I'm so excited. I get to work with Jean, and it's all I can say is it's so much fun. It's so much
I'm so excited, and Jean, you're so lucky. You can't have a better partner than LeUyen Pham.
Yeah,
she's
no
fantastic.
She's like the best, right? She's
Literally.
Everyone wants to be on that schedule.
When he's in the room, you just have a big smile on your face. There's just actually all of you. Like whenever you guys are here, it's my face hurts by the end of the day because we're just smiling and
I'm saying the 5 of us right now form some kind of club, and
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think we just need to do something all together creatively.
Well, Jen and I are going to team up now. We're going to release the fanny pack kids that comes out in the fall.
I'm on that.
Announced first here.
Yep,
Yeah.
you heard it.
Are there going to be fanny pack swag?
Ooh,
That's the best swag ever.
that would be some good swag.
I see Connie Shu, our editor, is on, so you know.
Hi, Connie.
Get hooked up with Connie for the fanny pack school.
This would be definitely the cool kids club for sure.
The serious fatigue
or the
club. We're
opposite.
trying to get to serious fatigue as a club,
Yeah.
like Jeff Kinney, the way Jeff Kinney did.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we have another question.
Yes. Okay. So I just came on because I wanted to say hello to you. So we've had a couple people ask if you could pick one book that you've loved for your childhood. Like, what was that one book?
From
From our
childhood.
childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
There's so many. It's so hard for me. I was really into Robin McKinley when I was in elementary school. Like a girl on a horse fighting dragons and she a redhead. So I don't know if it stands up. I haven't read it in 20 years, but Hero and the Crown.
Just one is really, really hard. I read so many books when I was a kid.
You could pick top 3. You don't have to stick to the rules.
All right.
Don't pick a favorite. Just name one. I hate the idea of favorites.
Yeah, favorite.
Just one that comes to mind.
I love the book, the Witch of Blackbird Pond. I remember reading that when I was 9, and I don't think kids read it as much anymore. Because whenever I mention it in school signings and stuff, no one ever says anything. But that book, like, there weren't any books about Asians growing up. There weren't any books about, like, you know, people of color. Like, the closest I could find was this poor girl from Barbados who is still white, coming to colonial America and feeling left out, so she's labeled a witch. So that was what I related to. Like, that was it. That was the person I found. But that book was a great book. I remember loving it and like wishing they would make it into a movie or a graphic novel. Hint, hint. If anyone out there would ever, you know, want me to do another graphic novel, Witch of Blackbird.
Yeah, nobody wants you to do another graphic novel.
No.
It's like you're not getting dozens of requests in your inbox every day.
Anyway, that's my book.
Excellent. What about you, Jen?
Yeah, like it's hard to pick, but the thing that comes to mind, just because I like did so much fan art, was I was obsessed with the Redwall series. Yeah, Brian Jack's like Redwall books about like, you know, warrior mice and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just I like, you know, I was a total like fan. I did my own made my own characters and like, you know, and everything. But I also haven't read them since I was, you know, a kid, but I know that I was very obsessed. So and now apparently they're working on a Netflix animated series. So I guess I'll maybe that will be my revisit. Yeah.
For me, there were a few things I enjoyed less as a kid than reading books. So if I wasn't reading Spider-Man or Silver Surfer, I wasn't interested. But I read more books once I was a dad because I would read to my sons. So I think the first time I ever saw myself, like the closest I'd ever come to a mirror in a book, I was a grown man, and it was Bud Not Buddy by Christopher Curtis.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
But I would say that the comics you read count as books.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I know when we were growing up, like the adults tried to discount that and say those are not real books. But I would think there absolutely are. That's still reading.
Yeah, no, it's definitely they were the 32-page single issue ones, not the 250-page, you know. But yeah,
my husband grew up reading the comics. He would not be a reader without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the Lloyd Alexander series, and it's kind of the same, right? I talk to kids about it now, and they don't seem to know that series at all. Yeah. But when I was a kid, I really loved that stuff.
I think it's okay that they move. You know, no one's gonna be reading my books in 20 years. Let's be honest.
That's not
true.
I didn't read comics until I was like 15, and I started to read X-Men. But I always I always associated with the cool guy. Like I loved Logan. I loved Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Just like the best. I didn't just love him. I wanted to be him, you know, like I wanted to be Han Solo. I wanted to be Indiana Jones, and I wanted to be Wolverine. Like, and I don't know why, because I'm terrified of knives, but the comics were just like the coolest for that.
Yeah, Gene, I think Wynn would make a really good, she could be.
Yeah.
You know, could be Raiders of the Lost Ark.
What artist here? You've all been drawn by Wynn. Who's willing to draw Wynn as Wolverine?
Ooh, yeah, we got to work on that.
I'll do it.
That would be
It's
great.
going to be amazing.
I've been teaching Shannon to draw, guys, so she's getting a lot better at it for sure.
I don't have a pencil. I guess I can't.
All right. Excellent. This has been, I think we could go on for another half. I could just go on talking to you guys all night. But thank you so much for being here. Click on the green button.
Oh, is it over? Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to, should we do one more question?
That was
I
abrupt.
want to be with you guys forever.
It took us forever to get Jerry on.
It did. We were late. Okay, so I'm going to do one last question. This is from my pal, Kate. What graphic novels are you really excited about that aren't yours? Like,
Besides everybody here.
yeah, besides everybody here.
Which we've already established.
Oh God.
So many. I'm like looking around the room. We literally have like 5,000 graphic novels in this house.
I'm in the middle of a book called Tiny Dancer by Mark and Sienna Siegel. That's really good. I'm about a third of the way through. It's great.
I love Twins by Varian Johnson and
I love
Shannon
that.
Wright.
Almost American Girl by Robin Ha. It's one of my favorites.
That's fantastic.
And I just did a cover blurb for one that is coming out I really like called Swim Team by Johnny Christmas.
Yeah, I did a blurb for them too. That's a great book. It's really fun. It's awesome.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
There's one, I can't remember the title, and it's escaping me, but like you guys must remember, it's like it's told by a Vietnamese person, and it's the retelling of a Vietnamese fairy tale.
Fish, something fish.
Oh,
Yeah, Magic Fish.
Magic Fish. Yeah, that book is really good. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Really, really.
Yeah.
It was funny because it was one of those stories where it's like, I know this story, and you know, like, and it just had all the right connections. I mean, it was a great story.
Katie the Cat Sitter is just such a solid, fun middle grade one. I love Snapdragon. Was fantastic.
Snapdragon's great.
I really like the series called Maze Book by Jeff Lemire. It's an adult book, but I really liked it. It's awesome.
And Be Prepared by
Be Prepared.
Brosgol.
By Vera.
So good.
She's amazing.
There's some up and coming young girl, Raina something. I hear she's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Do you know,
I haven't
another
read it.
victim of serious fatigue, I think.
But I know
Raina's the best. I love
Oh
Raina.
my gosh, she is the best.
Vera's got a new one that's coming out. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say, but it's amazing. If you guys get a chance to read like the version of it yet, I think I can only say it's. What can I even say? It's about. Can I even say it's?
I don't know if you can say.
Maybe don't say until it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Who's in trouble? All right. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I hope to see you all back in the store. We need to. You're the only one we haven't had, Jen. You have to come.
I haven't been.
Yeah, I'm
You haven't been either, Shannon. Oh my
I
gosh.
have never been in person.
You have
I
never
know.
been.
Well, now that I know I've got a house to sleep
Yeah,
in.
you
have a
can
house.
get that house.
I mean,
Yep.
I'll just stay a couple
Yeah.
weeks. And
You have
then-
to share a bed with all of Jeff's awards, though. You okay with that?
I already do.
As long as
I
you're
get
okay.
replicas. And I've moved my
Okay,
husband out. And
The paint was still wet, remember?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
The paint
you
was
are
still wet
totally
when my
welcome.
boys came in to sign. It was brand spanking new.
Well, that would be cool. I think we should have like a bed and breakfast for the authors that we should
Yeah.
build like right next door. Jeff,
I'm
I think
gonna
that would be a
just assume that-
fantastic idea.
Jeff has agreed to this, and
Yeah.
I'll book my flight right now. So
That's what
Yeah.
the extra house is
fantastic.
for.
All right. That's a deal.
And then, thanks, Jeff.
Excellent.
Thank
oh,
you.
thank
Thank
you
you for
guys
having
so much. It was so good to see you. Everyone, click on the button, get your box set.
Thank
We'll
you.
send you a Shannon's book plate.
Can I just say real quick?
Yes.
This couple years have been, of course, so hard for everyone. Our independent bookstores have been dramatically impacted, and the way we keep them around and to have free events like this is by shopping in the stores and supporting them. Our independent bookstores do so much more for the community than I think most people even imagine. Literary outreach, working with kids, schools, and everything. So if you're going to buy gifts this holiday season, think books and think local independent bookstore and Unlikely Story. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
And congratulations, Shannon, on an amazing box set. Beautiful.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
on my daughter's new favorite books.
Oh.
We miss people. We miss bookstores.
I know. We miss it
We
so
miss you
much.
too. All right, you guys have a good holiday. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Terry. Thanks, Jen.
Bye.
Bye.
Say goodbye. I don't want to click the button.
Bye, Johnny. You hang up. No, you hang up.
Okay, you hang up. All right, here we go.
Jeff.
Bye.